Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Ooh, lucky bastard.
Are you being sarcastic or something, my son?
Fool, you should never mix your drinks.
What, are you retarded?
We'll have to take this abuse much longer.
You're a fool! You're a fool! You're a fool!
Oh, that's what we call diarrhea.
You think this is a fucking joke? This ain't Kenny camera. There's no hidden cameras.
Oh shit, I've said fuck. Oh fuck, I've said shit.
Don't be an arse. Get a weapon collector, Ross.
I could knock him out in the shed.
Are you kidding me? That is crazy.
Stop it, please. For God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time.
Is this not why you are here?
Right, everyone, WeaponCollector here. Right, welcome to the latest Spiroverse special. So this is going to be the new, latest Spiroverse content. It's been a while, I know, but it's taken quite a while to edit and make some of the episodes. There is now an episode 3 and 4, and you are going to get to see episode 3 tonight. I'm going to put it on early on and then at the end again, so if people miss it at the beginning, you can see it at the end. There'll also be a teaser trailer for episode 4, and then episode 4, the feature-length episode, will be shown on Halloween night. Right, so there's plenty of content coming up. So I'll tell you what's going to happen tonight, and then we'll get down to it. So you're going to see CCC Spotter's Corner again, with some new added content. While you're watching CCC Spotter's Corner, if you've seen anything similar, send it in, you can feature in that as well. We're going to show the shit recruitment video, that's had new content added to it. We will be showing episode 1, 2 and 3. And then the Spiro-Files episode 4 feature-length episode trailer. We'll have a book reading of book 2. So if you don't know, there are Spyroverse books as well. We'll be having a reading of book 2, read by DC Had a Few. I'll be re-showing the content from Electro and Funky Prepper when they joined in on one of the live streams. That's only ever been shown once. We'll have a bit of new content from Tactical Pirate, aka Tackleberry. He's written a story. It's really good and I've done a video for it. I really like this story. So yeah, that's coming up. We'll have Samurai Bird's reading of Bertie the Bruiser and some previous content showing his encounter with a Spyro Desmond and what it did to him. Nearly killed him. And then to finish off, we'll show episode 3 again, and then the episode 4 trailer. Right? So there it is. This is going to run for around about 3 hours 10 minutes, so it should end, I reckon, around about 12:15 with the countdown at the beginning and this intro, stuff like that. Yeah, 12:15 it'll end. So let's get down to it. Here is all the latest Spyro content, and there'll be loads more coming soon. Alright? Sit back, dim your lights, switch them off if you don't have dimmers. Get ready to enjoy some Spyroverse content. Well, I say enjoy.
CCC and Lord Demon to make sure. Exactly, and maybe.
I wanted to get CCC at least, or get a job on the telly.
Why do you want to get bloody CCC anyway?
Today we are talking about crinkle cut cock blockers. If you've ever wanted to do a spirograph and been scared that you may receive crinkle cut cock, we have the ideal solution for you. So whether you're hung like an acorn or like a donkey or have a penis the shape of a pencil, we can help you out. You will be fully protected from any Spiroverse demons trying to give you crinkle cut cock. We have extra small crinkle cut cock blockers. Doesn't matter how big you are, those demons will always want to take your foreskin or the rest. Moving on to the small size, everybody can be covered. This is the pencil prick size for those with the extra thin shaft. Openings both end so that you can actually go to the toilets while wearing it. The next model is for the man who has a penis the shape of a cigar. Open at both ends again so that you can piss at your leisure and never ever be fearful ever again. This is what I call the normal size, could be large for some people. Open at both ends again. Perfect. And the final version we have today is the donkey dick sized one. Offers full 100% protection from any Spyro demons trying to take your foreskin or worse. Prices range from £50 to £500 depending on what size you buy. Absolutely no returns are accepted. These are, however, 100% guaranteed to stop crinkle cut cock or worse. Get yours now. Don't worry about the cost, you can always pay in instalments. People of YouTube, I'm here to speak to you about a subject of considerable gravity, a subject that affects each and every one of us. I refer to, of course, our great failure to stop all Spyro demons. The Spyro Hunting and Intelligence team is here to unite our great community in stopping all Spyro demon activity. There comes a time where everyone has to do their duty. And I'm here because your community needs you to join the Spyro Hunting and Intelligence team. Whether you become a fully fledged member of the Spyro Hunting and Intel team like Timbo, GMM, DC had a few, or become part of the Shitmobile fleet just like Jim M, DC had a few, and Sarah. Sign up is extremely easy. There's a link below in the description. Just go there, get yourself your Spyro Hunting and Intel team ID or Shitmobile badge. And don't forget, our community needs you.
Watch a show so shocking, so terrifying, it can only be shown on YouTube. Spyro-Files. A registered nurse trained in the treatment of terror will be on duty enjoyed this showing of the Spiro-Files. You have been warned.
Every week now, these tapes from the Spyroverse hunting and intelligence team turn up. They are now arriving more and more regularly. Spyroverse incidents are getting more common as technology progresses. It is my job to investigate these often deadly spiral phenomenon. Whoever had the idea of putting my briefings on VHS tapes is an absolute genius. Media that no one can view nowadays.
Your Spyro mission today is to investigate a phenomenon known as a gory hole, a Spyro demon portal trap used to hypnotize and then lure unsuspecting toilet patrons into inserting parts of their body into a Spyro nether region's portal and then crinkle, cut and sever said appendage. You must infiltrate the toilet block, find the gory hole and destroy it. Standard equipment only. No guns and no need for a safety broomstick attachment because this Spyro portal was created for the removal of body parts only. But still be very careful because all Spyro portals are highly dangerous. Commence mission immediately. Location will be sent via text. The toilet block should be quite easy to recognize due to its brown crinkle cut outer walls. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Better get my hair cut and a shave before I go out as well, I reckon. Right, what am I gonna need? Gloves, phone. Bollocks, I forgot my torch. Oh, I need pictures anyway, so I'll just use the flash on my camera till I can find the light switch. Is there someone in here? Fucking hell, mate, you alright? At least give me a courtesy flush.
No. That wasn't me. Not for us. Oh. No.
Fucking hell, it stinks in here.
Oh, that's what we call diarrhea. That's the funnest place to be.
I had found the gory hole. From my research, I had discovered it will open when an appendage is put near it. Time to put the carrot to good use. Holy shit, it worked. Fucking hell. What the fuck is going on? I think it's trying to hypnotise me. Must resist putting my finger in. Fuck. Where's that petrol? I should have just done this in the first place. That was a close call. I may have lost a finger, but technological advances are amazing now. I should be able to sort that out soon. Luckily, the news reports only think the incident was arson. I wonder who the red-headed diarrhea man was, and will I ever cross paths with him again? Only time will tell. So, as I wait for the next tape to arrive, I can close this Spiro-File case for good.
That's the funnest place to be.
Good evening. Tonight on Tales from the Spiroverse, he'll tell you the cautionary tale of Monty the dog. A dog who was found in a house completely covered in gore. All the walls had spirographic pictographs drawn on them, and the pup in question was found covered in blood, and no remains of his owners were ever found. To this day, Monty the dog won't go near spirographs because spirographs are bad.
One day we were doing spirographs and we asked Monty, would you like to do a spirograph with us? No, spirograph. Monty said you can fuck right off with your spirograph bullshit. No, spirograph. Fuck off, demon. Or is it a Desmond?
I'd like to tell the kids kept up the good game that Monty did a spirograph, but life in the Spiroverse isn't a fairy tale.
No spirographs. No spirograph.
After a hard day's graft, nothing quite relaxes me. Like a nice cold pint of vodka. Oh dear. So don't be an arse. Get a WeaponCollector glass.
What do you mean there's no food?
I'm sorry, sir. There is no food.
But we're starving here.
Sir, there is nothing we can do.
Well, what about my family?
Have you considered cooking something yourself?
No, that's not an option. Son of a bitch. What is that? Join us for some crinkle cut cuisine. Free home delivery. 10% discount for all crinkle cut cock victims. Opening hours anytime a spirograph is used. Items marked free are available when ordered after doing a spirograph. Similar to that shown on this menu, you will receive all the free options and much more. Call 45412 Spyro Demons Are Us. We shall be waiting for you in the Spyroverse nether regions. Thank you, Crinkle Cut Cuisine.
Your Spyro mission today is to infiltrate a known Spyrodemon mind control facility that is masquerading as a derelict factory. People and animals are being taken to the facility, and turned into Spyrozombies who will do anything to progress the Spyro's takeover. Infiltrate the facility, try to locate any hostages and set them free if possible. Weapons are permitted, and highly recommended. You will also be supplied with an experimental drug that may aid you in your mission. Use it at your own risk. Commence mission as soon as you have completed the Spyro hunting and intel team advanced training. Once past DC Hada Few will drive you to the location, but will not join you as she will need to come back to do her advanced training herself. This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
To the shipmobile! I think this is going to be a long journey, had a few. Going to get some sleep for the morning. Cheers for the lift, had a few. I just climbed over the fence. Doesn't look like anyone's here at all. Seems completely deserted to me. Let's see if I can make my way into the building. Just spotted a window. I might be able to get in. Right. Good luck with your test today. See you later. Fuck is all this then?
I'm still here. I'm still stuck in the Spiroverse. I've been here for weeks now. There's no way out. I've tried. I tried escaping last night through one of the corridors, and they're everywhere. Every now and again they ring a bell, and that's when you know they're coming.
Let's fit that one or that one.
This one. I'm already recording.
Someone's coming. I think it's the Spyro.
This is Spyro. You will fall to the power of the dark side of the trail. We are coming for you, shit. You come for us, we come give you shit.
Cry havoc and let slip the dogs of gore.
I've managed to capture a Spyro hound. Yeah, one of the guard dogs. I'm going to start the reprogramming immediately.
Revenge is like a medium hot curry. Bounty.
Another close call there. Luckily I managed to press the release button to all the cells just before I escaped, because it now looks like from the news reports that place is on fire. And who would have thought I'd be shot by a Spyro demon? And of all things a crossbow bolt. Bloody amateurs. Didn't even have a broadhead on it. Or a bayonet. And now we have a new recruit, Monty, the ex-Spyro hound. He'll be spying for us very, very soon. And good on DC had a few. She passed with flying colours. Maybe in the next mission we can get together and get some revenge on the crossbow shooting bastards.
That's the funnest place to be.
say goodbye to you. I go to the nether regions, to the frontiers of the unknown.
Do you have a friend or relative in the Spiroverse you're trying to communicate with? Welcome to Spirocom. It's cheaper than getting your dick chopped off.
Revenge is like a medium hot curry. Salty.
You can't make me. You're not my dad. Ah, fucking hell, ah, get off, ah!
Get me down. Medication time. Oh, Dr. Russell, can I have a word with you in a few minutes?
Not you again.
Of course it's me again.
Where's my phone?
Oh, you don't need that. Don't worry about those sorts of things. Now, it's time for your
Why are you drugging me?
It's medication. It's medication, sir. It's only a little prick.
Don't.
It's okay, you'll just feel a little prick.
Nothing unusual there then.
Well, don't be silly, sir. It's fine. Fine. Now, this is for your own good. May feel a little tight, but, you know, it's best to be sure.
Get off. Don't. Don't.
There you go. Isn't that better? Isn't
No, it's
that
not.
better?
No.
Come. Don't make such a fuss.
Get off me.
No, that's okay. Just tell you what, shall we just make you feel a little bit more happy before we do that? Shall
Don't
we?
touch me again.
It's okay. It's not a drug. It's
Leave me alone.
medication, sir. It's medication. No, we'll all feel a lot better very soon. Let's sort you out, shall we? Nice and slow. That's what we like. Only a few days left. Just a few days. We won't have to worry about you anymore, will we, sir? Little bit left in there. Blood pressure dropping all the time. Good. We'll soon be rid of you and your kind. Oh, Dr. Russell! Dr. Russell! Oh, get out of it! Your lap is mine! Time for more crinkle cuts. Now, what do we have here? Let us see what we have in here. Oh my, no. No. Oh, not quite. Yeah. Jumbo. Plot, plotty. Perfect. Ha ha. Sneak. sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Plot, plot, plotty, plot. Plot, plot, plotty, plot. Sneaky, sneaky, sneak. Oh, hello. Can I help you? Oh, no. John Doe. Oh, no. Like to see him. I'm not sure we have any of that. Mr. John Doe. He's definitely here. He's been in here for quite some time now. Well, he's resting at the moment. And I need to see him now.
Alice Alias.
I'm sorry. I can't let you in at the moment.
Alice Alias. Alice. Alice Alias. Alice. Alice Alias. Alice. Alice! Oh, what the fuck has happened to my cock? What? Oh, God.
Sneak, sneak, sneak. Sneak, sneak. Sneak, 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 sneak. Please come back later. No, I'm gonna go in and see him. I haven't seen him for ages and I'm really concerned about
You shall not pass.
You can't stop me.
I'll have to get Dr. Russell.
Yeah? Go and get the doctor. I want to speak to this doctor of yours. What is he, Dr. Russell?
Yes.
Yep. Bring him to me. Mike? John? Is that you?
Alice. Alice
No,
Alias.
not Alice, not Alice.
Alice Alias. Alice.
Not Alice.
Oh, this.
Sadie. Is that really you? Is that really you? Oh my God. You look so different. What's happened?
I think they've been starving me.
Been starving you?
All they've been feeding me is these weird, chewy, cheesy onion ring type things.
Oh, Christ.
Forcing them into me.
Oh, God.
Disgusting things.
Sounds terrible.
They stink.
Well, you got your vodka drip.
Oh, there's never enough vodka in that thing.
Oh,
Never.
fuck's sake. Other than, I mean, you look so different. Saying here early stages of gangrene.
I hope not.
Paranoid delusions.
Gangrene?
Or from your leg wound.
What room? What, John?
Oh, the doctor's here. The doctor's here.
Uh,
I've got to go talk to the doctor. Are you Dr. Russell? I need to have a word with you. What has been going on here?
It wasn't a dream. I fucking knew that was real and that was really happening. That must have been a Spyro Desmond in here. So I opened a gory hole. He's been disturbed. God, I hope it's... Oh God, thank God for that. Are you Sadie Baines?
I am.
Are you Mr. Doe's partner?
No, I'm not his partner. I'm his friend.
Matron was quite upset by her encounter with you.
And I was quite upset with my encounter with her. She told me I couldn't go and see my friend. And then when I did see him, I was shocked at his condition. What have you been doing to him? The state of him. He's lost so much weight, he is out of it. What's going on?
He's been a very difficult patient. We've had to sedate him.
But that doesn't account for the weight loss. He says you haven't been feeding him.
He's refusing to eat.
Well, that doesn't sound like him to me.
Well, he's been a very difficult patient.
Oh, well, you say that, but he's not even conscious.
But he's delirious.
He's not even conscious.
And what are Alice Alias?
Pardon?
Alice Alias. He keeps going about Alice Alias.
He's a gardener. He's a gardener. Alice Alias are a flower. Perhaps he's worried about planting season. Now then, about this sedation.
Dr. Russell! Dr. Russell! There's an emergency. You must come now.
Of course, matron. I'll be there. I'll be there right away. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to attend my patient.
I understand, doctor.
To the emergency room. DC.
Just calm down, you're hysterical. No, I have managed to convince him that Alisalia is a flower and that you are a gardener. You need to get your shit together or you're going to blow our cover.
Sadie, there's a
The fuck's that?
fucking gory hole that's starting.
What?
Looks like they've been disturbed though.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell, Mike. We need to get you out of here. Sorry I said your name. But, oh my God. We need to get you out of here. I think they're gone. Hold on. Let me just check. Right, let's get you out of here. Let's get you out of here. Get you out of here. Come on, let's get you out of here.
Oh, that's better. Although I was enjoying the vodka when they had enough in it.
Ah, this is the problem. Right, let's get you out. Right, you ready to get out? What the hell are they? What? What's this about?
Don't know. I didn't even know it was there.
Right, let's get you out of here before they come back. Oh, got you. Oh, you're sitting on my hair. Right, come on then, Mike, let's get you off the bed. Come on. Come on.
Damn, they got away.
I know.
I think there was lots of them in the woods.
Yeah, I saw quite a few of them.
You hide over there.
What, over here? Okay.
I'll hide over here.
Alright then, I'll wait here.
I'll show them Retribution if we catch one.
Damn right. We'll teach them. Maybe we can get some information out of it.
Got you bastard. Let's see what we've got here, shall we? Crinkle cut cuisine? What the hell is this shit? Eternal torture, brain scrapings, sweet sour bellend, battered foreskin rings. Oh, God! Ah, foreskins. Oh, God's sake.
Well done on capturing one of those bastards. To the shipmobile!
Got you now, you Spyro bastard. So you're the Spyro Desmond that shot me?
I'm not Desmond. I'm a Spyro bitch.
I never knew they made female Desmonds.
I'm not a Desmond. I'm a Spyro bitch.
Spyro bitch. CCC collector.
Yeah, I'll fucking take your foreskin and I'll eat it.
Oh, you dirty bastard.
My favourite snack. You're on the menu.
You're a bit cocky for someone who's tied up, aren't you?
Cocky. Mr. Twirly Twirly told me about you. I can't wait to get my teeth around that foreskin.
Do you think this is funny? You've seen the tool down there.
I have. Heard about the tool down there too. Yum yum. Think you can break me, fucker? I won't speak to you. You can't fucking stop me. We're everywhere.
You're going to be in bits in a minute.
Talk, 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 talk. That's all you fucking humans can do in it. Talk, 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 talk. We take action.
Why have you got these? What is all this about?
To deliver them.
Is this the fucking shit you was trying to feed me?
You
Is this what was
fucking
in your
loved
pockets?
it. You fucking loved it.
Dirty bastard. You've been trying to feed me, well, no, you have been feeding me foreskins.
Yep.
Dirty, disgusting fuckers.
You ate them. You fucking loved them.
What is it with the foreskins? Why do you want foreskins?
No comment.
And why spirographs?
No comment.
You'll give me a comment in a minute.
I don't take orders from you.
I'm going to ask you some questions in a minute.
Fuck you, you don't scare me.
And the less you answer, the more pain you're going to get.
You don't know the meaning of pain.
Was it you who set up the gory hole, took my finger, tried to take my cock?
No comment.
And was it you who set up the factory and kidnapped all those people? The one I burnt down? What do you want?
Your foreskin.
Where'd you come from?
No comment.
Who's your leader?
No comment.
So you're not going to tell me anything then?
Fuck you.
Well, that's torturing time then.
Do your worst.
Do these pliers. You're going to be ripping your teeth out of me. See that? I think I'll take one of your eyes out. And you've seen the other things down there. They'll be doing lots and lots and lots of damage to you.
Fuck you.
Thank God Hadafew was there to pull me out of that hellhole. Her training really paid off. Hopefully she'll get to use her spanners soon. They look like awesome weapons. Wonder why those Desmonds want to crinkle cut my cock so badly. Can't believe they were feeding me bad foreskins. Dirty bastards. And I was crawling with Spyro Desmonds. Never considered there being female Desmonds. Shame I couldn't get her to talk. Wonder how they all got there. Maybe our discoveries will give shit the grounds to investigate the place. I hope I get put on the case so I can crump the place.
That's the funnest place to be.
It's a tiny bunch of nutters being watched over by a large team of moderators who encourage these people to think they have something worth saying. And people like you take them seriously, whereas nutters should be ignored. That is the proper purpose of a nutter, to be ignored.
Found ya. Stay on the floor, shut your cake hole, and use your King Lears for once in your life, you fucking mug. It's a tough world out there for a grizzled East End enforcer. If, like me, you need quality accessories that you can rely on, get your ass down to Mad Mike's Quality Crossbow Accessories Emporium. Fucking wallop, son. Get your ass down, Mike's. He'll give you the quivers, he'll give you broadheads, and he'll give you aids. These novelty bayonet cocking aids are a worthy addition to any pistol crossbow setup. Excellent handmade gear at basement prices. Mad Mike's Quality Crossbow Accessories Emporium! I told Mike you'd buy him a coffee. Don't make me a cunt.
Monty always has your back. He'll remind you to protect your sack. Buy your safety broomstick attachment from all good stockists now. And don't forget there's the retractable version. Please follow the instructions. Makers cannot be held responsible for accidents from misuse.
Good evening all. DC had a few again, and I have, had a few. Would you like to hear the second of the Spirograph stories? I shall begin. 2 Stamps Beyond, by Zeb, not Z. Denise Crawford looked up at her husband and said, "Go on, Terry, you have a go. I'll pay. She's very good." Terry looked down at the fortune teller, scepticism written across his face. Still, he'd had a good day so far, having had a couple of drinks in the pub before he and Denise came to the local fete. Then he'd managed to pick up a couple of bottles of craft beers and had frightened the old fool in front of him in the queue from buying the last bottle of farmhouse cider. "Okay," he replied. "Why not? It should be good for a laugh." He knew what sort of thing she'd tell him anyway. It would be similar to the load of crap she'd told Denise, he was sure. There'd be something about suffering a loss, followed by happiness. What a load of bollocks. He'd rip her stupid predictions apart, and it would serve her right. He hadn't liked the way the daft cow had noticed Denise's swollen eye and looked at him suspiciously before asking her if she was okay. Denise had, as usual, said she was fine. She'd just hit herself with the handle of the vacuum cleaner when she bent down to remove a piece of tissue, but had blocked it up. The fortune teller hadn't looked like she'd believed her. Denise stood up and Terry took her place at the table. Madame Esmeralda handed Terry a pack of cards and asked him to shuffle them, think of the question he wanted answered, and then hand them back to her with their faces downwards whilst keeping his question in mind. Terry did so. Madame Esmeralda stared at them for a second, looking confused, but then started to lay them out in the pattern that she preferred to use. One by one she laid them out, saying nothing, her face slowly going pale. Once they were laid out, she stared at them for 30 seconds, and then, forcing a smile, she started talking, telling him that he'd have a long life and would receive everything he deserved. Then she gathered up the cards again and told him that she was going to take a break, thanked him for visiting her store. "It's been an interesting experience," she told him, quickly stuffing the cards into her bag and hurrying away. Terry stood up, feeling a bit disgruntled. "Well, fuck me, that wasn't great, was it? The bloody witch only looked at the stupid cards for 30 seconds and then ran off." "Perhaps she had a sudden need for balloon," Denise suggested. "She was diddling us, that's what she was doing," Terry snapped. "Why are you defending her?" Denise took a step backwards, her eyes fearful. "I'm not defending her, Terry. I just said that she might have needed..." Terry took a step forward. "You calling me a liar?" He interrupted, his voice full of suppressed anger. "No, Terry, I'm not. You're quite right, as usual. I was in the wrong," Denise said desperately. "I shouldn't have said what we did. I'm really sorry. I'm really, really sorry." "Well then," said Terry, mollified. "We'll let it go this time. But don't you go making me angry again. You know what happens when I get angry." Denise nodded. "Yes, Terry, I know," she said quietly. "I have to be punished when I do something wrong and upset you." "Good. And make sure you remember that," Terry told her sternly. "Now let's go home. I want my tea." Denise looked fondly at him and said, "Of course, sweetheart. By the way, what was the question you wanted answering? If you don't mind me asking, that is." Terry shrugged. "Oh, that? I just wanted to know how long I'd live." As they walked away, Madame Esmeralda was swallowing brandy from her small flask like there was no tomorrow. It wasn't until the flask was half empty that she felt steady enough to look at the cards again. Taking them from her bag, she looked closely at them. They'd gone back to normal, thank goodness. The small discs with the teeth around them that had shown through both the pictures and the pattern on the back had disappeared. She gave them a quick shuffle just in case, but they remained normal. She shook her head and sighed. "Maybe I imagined it," she muttered. Then she shook her head and shuddered. "No, I didn't imagine it. I saw what I saw, and I wish I hadn't." Then she took a deep breath and took a pack of extra strong mints from her handbag, popped one into her mouth to hide the smell of brandy, and slowly walked back to her stall. Harry Ellis opened the front door and stepped inside, giving his usual call of "I'm home," and headed into the kitchen. His wife Jenny looked up from her magazine and smiled and said, "Hello, love." Do you want a cup of tea? Harry smiled back at her. Yes, please, he said. That would be lovely. He laid the carrier bag he was carrying on the kitchen table and sat down on one of the chairs. How's your day been today? Was work okay? He asked. It was fine, just the same old thing, you know, Jenny replied, her back to him as she put a tea bag into the cup and switched on the kettle. I picked the kids up. They're in the front room watching telly. And how was your day? Harry grinned. The same. Nothing much changes, does it? Jenny laughed. No, it doesn't, does it? Same thing every day with us. Just getting older. Harry laughed. Now there's a cheerful thought. Jenny gave a wry grin. It's true though, isn't it? Then she noticed the carrier bag. What have you got in there? Oh, I nearly forgot, Harry told her. I saw this in a charity shop as I was walking to the bus stop. It was only a couple of quid, and I thought the kids might like it. He paused. Funny thing is I don't usually look in that shop window, but as soon as I saw it, I had a feeling that I should buy it. His brow creased in thought. Strange when you think about it. Still, as I said, only a couple of quid. He opened the bag and pulled out a large flat box. Jenny looked at it and laughed. One of those? I suppose they might like it. They were quite popular when I was young. She laughed again. But I'd wait until they've stopped watching that programme with the penguin in it. You know how they enjoy that. Oh, yes, they certainly do. They even like that one with the monsters they found on YouTube. Don't mention that, Jenny told him. I had a nightmare after I saw it. I dreamt I was being chased by a hooting penguin with a flamethrower. I remember, said Harry with a laugh. You woke me up trying to run in your sleep. He looked at the box. The funny thing is I had one of those when I was 7. I only played with it for one day. I drew a pattern that really gave me the creeps. It looked so strange. And that night I had a nightmare that one of my friends was chasing me down the street with a meat cleaver and chopping bits off me. He laughed again. I threw the thing in the cupboard and never used it again. I hope that doesn't happen to Lenny and Alice, Jen said, sounding slightly worried. Oh, I wouldn't worry about that, Harry said. If that penguin thing didn't scare them, then this thing isn't likely to. Jenny gave a shiver. Good point, she replied. As he and Dennis neared the car park, Terry was still feeling irritated about how his experience at Madame Esmeralda's stall had gone. He looked around to see if there was someone else he could scare to cheer himself up. There weren't many stalls at this end of the plate, and he was thinking he was out of luck, but then his eyes fell on a stall that had a sign that was on the end of a long pole, and what had looked like a piece of bedsheet nailed to a crosspiece in imitation of a sail. Written on the sheet were the words, "The Strategic Buccaneer." On a table were 2 piles of blister packs, each one containing a child's pirate set, containing a plastic pirate hat, an eye patch, a plastic cutlass and an unrealistic flintlock pistol that shot rubber-tipped darts, and between the piles were several boxes containing toy pirate ships. The man standing behind the table was quite old, overweight, and was wearing a pirate costume and a not very realistic white wig. Filthy, said Terry to himself. Terry grabbed Denise's arm to bring her to a halt. Look at that fat old fucker over there, he said loudly enough for the vendor to hear. Fuck me, that wig he's wearing looks like an old floor mop. The man behind the table said nothing. He just bent down and rummaged about in the large sports bag by his feet. When he straightened up, he had a large-headed mallet in his hand, and he gently tapped the head of the mallet in his other hand. Say that again, he said in a menacing tone. Yeah. This was not at all what Terry had expected. His face paled, and he felt a shiver of fear run up his spine. The old bastard looked more than ready to use the mallet, and Terry had a sudden and very unpleasant vision of the damage that thing could do to him. So he was actually glad when Denise grabbed his arm and said, "Leave it, Terry, please. He's an old man. He's not worth the trouble." Terry let out a slow breath and, trying not to let his fear make his voice quaver, replied, "Yeah, you're right. Fuck me, I'd probably kill him if I hit him anyway. The old bastard isn't worth it." And as he let Denise pull him towards the car, he went for a last bit of bravado. "But he'd better watch it. Next time I won't let him off. Fuck me, will I?" Lenny and Alice were in the back garden, sitting on the benches beside the large garden table. A piece of white paper was laid out, and their new toy was set up on top of it. Lenny was looking at the pattern they'd been taking it in turns to add to with a frown on his face. The more he looked at it, the less he liked it. It seemed threatening somehow. Where the red and blue lines had crossed each other, they'd made a very unpleasant, very dark purple colour, and the pattern itself just looked wrong. He couldn't say why it looked wrong exactly, but it did. Indoors, Harry and Jenny were trying to decide what to have for the evening meal when they heard a car draw up next door. "That'll be Terry and Denise," Jenny said shortly. "I hope Terry doesn't kick off again tonight. Did you see Denise's eye yesterday?" "Yes, I did," Harry replied with a somewhat savage look on his face. "If I hear anything tonight, I'm going to go round there and sort him out." Jenny reached out and grabbed his wrist. "Harry, don't. You don't know what he'll do." Harry gave a short laugh. "Terry's a vicious wanker, but only with people who are smaller and weaker than him. I'm neither." In the back garden, then he gave a start of surprise. He was sure the little discs had twitched. They couldn't move on their own, could they? Inside the kitchen, Jenny was telling Harry off. "Don't use words like wanker. The kids might hear you. And if you hit Terry, he'll probably accuse you of assault and call the police." Harry sighed. "Yeah, I suppose you're right. It might be worth it, though." And then he brightened up. "Tell you what, why don't we get a takeaway? It'll make a change, and the kids do love a takeaway." Jenny smiled. "And so do you," she thought. "Okay," she said. "Go and call them in. We'll go now." Lenny was still staring at the pattern when he heard his father call from the open French window that they were going to get a takeaway. Immediately forgetting about both the pattern and the discs, the children gave a shriek of delight and ran quickly back inside the house, leaving behind them lay the now unattended toy. Several minutes passed, then there was the sound of the family car moving down the road, and out in the back garden, the discs started to move. Denise was feeling worried. On the trip home, Terry had carried on telling her what he'd do to the old man in the pirate costume for a few minutes. Then he'd lapsed into a brooding silence. Once they'd arrived at their home, he'd headed straight for the full whiskey bottle on the sideboard. By now he must have had quite a few drinks, and a drunk Terry was a lot more dangerous than a sober Terry. Still, she'd made him his favourite tea. That should cheer him up. Putting on her best smile, she carried the 2 full plates into the lounge and placed them on the dining table, set to one side of the room. "Here you go, sweetheart. I've made you your favourite, double egg and chip," she said as cheerfully as she could, and then she looked at the table and said, "Oh, look at that, silly me. I've forgotten the tomato sauce. I'll just go and get it." Then she turned and headed back to the kitchen. As she went, she heard Terry stand up with a grunt and walk towards the table. She'd just picked up the bottle of tomato sauce when she heard Terry say loudly, "Fuck me, what is this?" With a feeling of dread, Denise hurried back into the lounge to see Terry with an angry look on his face pointing at one of the plates. "Look what you've done!" he shouted. "You've broken one of my eggs!" "No, Terry, that's mine. Your plate's the one next to it," Denise said desperately. "I'd never give you a broken egg. I know you don't like them." "No, you did it deliberately," Terry yelled. "Why did you—" His voice trailed off as a thought occurred to him. "Ah, I know. You did it so you could tell them apart. You've poisoned my tea, haven't you?" With an angry snarl, he picked up the plate and threw it at the wall. Chips and broken pieces of plate fell to the floor, and the 2 fried eggs slowly downwards, leaving a sticky orange trail behind them. Now thoroughly alarmed, but trying not to show it, Denise took a step backwards. "Of course I haven't poisoned it, Terry. You know I'd never do a thing like that." "Liar!" Terry bellowed and lunged forwards, wrapping his left hand around her throat. "You're trying to murder me!" Moving quickly, he forced Denise backwards and slammed hard against the door frame. Denise gave a grunt as her back and head hit the wood and she sagged slightly. "I'll teach you!" Terry yelled, and his right hand balled into a fist, slammed into her stomach. Denise gave an even louder grunt and fell to the floor, and as she knelt there, with her hands held to her stomach, Terry grabbed her by the hair and lifted her head up. Then he slapped her hard across the face twice and started to pull her up. To Denise, it felt as if her scalp was being torn off, and she struggled to get to her feet. And with one hand still clasping her stomach, she reached up and grabbed Terry's wrist, trying to lift herself up and take some of the pressure off her scalp. How dare you touch me, you murdering bitch! Let go of me now! Terry shouted in rage, and still holding her hair, started to pull her along the floor. Denise's struggles became more frantic as she tried to use her legs to push herself along, and forgetting about her stomach, she used both hands to grasp Terry's wrist. I said, fucking let go! Terry yelled and stamped down hard on her ribs twice. The second stamp had the desired effect. Denise felt something give, and a sharp pain lanced through her side. She gave a short shriek of pain, and her eyes fell away from Terry's wrist and went to her side. Terry dragged her along for another couple of feet and then let go of her hair. Right, he said in a satisfied tone. That's learned you. You won't try and poison me again. He looked round and saw Denise's handbag by the sofa. Walking over to it, he picked it up and rummaged inside it until he found her purse. Then he dropped the bag onto the floor. Taking 5 £10 notes that he had found in the purse, he stuffed them into the pocket of his jeans and threw the purse across the room. Then he turned to look at Denise. She was still lying on the floor, curled up with her hands holding her side and taking short, quick breaths. Terry laughed and said, I'm going to the pub. I'll have my tea there and you're paying. Then he pointed to the broken plate and the remains of the egg and chips lying on the floor. And you'd better have that lot cleaned up by the time I get home. So get up and get it done. Denise groaned and then coughed, tasting blood. I can't, Terry, she said between gasps. I think you've really hurt me this time. Bollocks, have I? Terry told her. If this isn't cleaned up by the time I get home, you'll know what being hurt's all about. Then he turned away from her and headed for the back door, muttering to himself about what he'd do to her if she hadn't cleaned the place up. Leaving the house, he went to the back gate, opened it and stepped into the narrow path that ran along the back of the houses of the local park on the opposite side. All he had to do was squeeze through the hole in the fence a short way down the path, cross the park, and he'd be at the pub in 10 minutes. Then he turned back to face the house. Remember, if you haven't done as I've told you, he thought for a few seconds before continuing, I'll rip your fucking guts out. Fuck me, yes, I'll rip them right out. Then he turned and took a step along the path. Suddenly, he heard a noise. It was the sound of children chanting, Terry's a vicious wanker, over and over again. And it was coming from that bastard Harry's garden. Normally, Terry was rather frightened of Harry and tried to avoid him as much as possible. So if he hadn't have been so full of alcohol and adrenaline, he never would have done what he was about to do. He rushed to Harry's back gate and tried to open it, but it was locked. Full of rage, he kicked it open and strode into the garden. Shut up, you little shits, or I'll... But his voice trailed off as he realised that the chanting had stopped, and the garden was empty. Back in her lounge, Denise began to slowly and agonisingly drag herself along the floor towards her handbag and her phone. She heard Terry's angry yells and knew he wasn't going to come back and help her. This was the final straw. She'd put up with his bullying and violence, but leaving her to lie there badly injured was too much. Terry was disappointed. The children were nowhere in sight. Fuck me, they were quick on their feet, little bastards, he muttered to himself. They must be indoors, little fuckers, probably with the doors locked and shitting themselves. Then a thought struck him. Harry hadn't come outside to see what all the noise was about. He and Jenny must have gone out and left the children at home. It never occurred to him that no normal parent would leave 6- and 8-year-old children unattended. To him it seemed perfectly reasonable. For a few seconds he thought of breaking his way into the house and finding them, but then decided he wanted to drink more than the pleasure of giving them a hiding. Then something caught his attention, something that reflected in the late afternoon light. Inexplicably, this intrigued him, and he walked across the lawn to look at it. Oh, bollocks! He exclaimed as he looked down at the spirograph. It's just a kid's toy. And then a thought occurred to him, and he grinned. He'd teach those little sods a lesson. He'd fuck their shitty toy up. Grabbing the paper, he jerked it savagely off the table, sending it flying through the air to land in the grass. To his surprise, the spirograph remained pinned to the paper in exactly the same position it was in when it had been on the table. Must have pinned it down tight, he thought. Oh well, that'll make it easy to smash to pieces. Smiling wickedly, he stepped up to the spirograph and brought his foot down on it hard. All this did was enlarge the small hole that he hadn't noticed in the centre of the pattern. Seeing the discs undamaged, he brought his foot down again even harder. Seeing that there still appeared to be no damage to the disc, he lifted his foot once more, or at least he tried to. For some reason, his foot wouldn't move. As he stared down in amazement, he felt a sudden pull on his foot. What the fuck? He thought. Then the pull grew stronger, and his foot began to sink. Not into the ground, he suddenly realised, but into the pattern drawn onto the paper. Somehow the pattern had grown in size and was now slightly larger than his foot. It was growing larger, and as the hole grew larger, so the pull on his foot grew stronger. Now sober and thoroughly frightened, Terry desperately tried to break free, but all his struggles were to no avail, and soon his ankle slowly dipped below the surface. Then the pain started. It felt like hundreds of tiny teeth were ripping at his flesh, and Terry started to scream. The whole street heard his screams, of course, and most of them rushed outside to find out where the screaming was coming from. Upon finding that it was coming from Harry and Jenny's back garden, they decided that Harry was finally giving Terry the thrashing he so richly deserved. Then they smiled at each other and went back indoors. Visions of undead zombie moles devouring his flesh flashed into Terry's mind, and he quickly pulled off his other trainer and flailed madly at the hole, trying to hit whatever it was that was tearing into his leg. It had no effect, however, and his leg sank even deeper into the now rapidly widening hole. Soon his other foot was also being dragged downwards, and Terry felt the small teeth bite into that leg too. Frantically, he ploughed even more dementedly with the trainer, but the pulling just increased. Soon he'd sunk down to his upper thighs, and giving up on the trainer, he flung it away and threw his upper body flat onto the ground, grabbing hold of the grass in a vain attempt to stop himself sinking even lower into the hole. It didn't work. The grass just tore out at its roots, and with ever-increasing speed, Terry was drawn down into the darkness, still clutching a few pieces of grass with his finger, his final scream of terror and pain echoing up and down the street. Terry came awake and opened his eyes. A bright white light made him close them immediately. He tried to cover his face with his hands, but his arms wouldn't move. Then he tried to turn his back on the light, but his legs wouldn't move either. In fact, he realised, he couldn't move anything below the neck. "Fuck me, turn that sodden light down, you bastards!" he yelled. A voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once said, "Very well. If you can't see, we shall do so. We wouldn't want you to miss anything." Terry didn't like the sound of that voice. It didn't sound human. It had a strange, almost mechanical sound to it. The light did dim a bit, though, and Terry opened his eyes cautiously. He blinked a couple of times, and things sprang into focus. 4 feet in front of him was a spiky-looking pillar, about a foot taller than himself. He looked down and saw that he was standing on what appeared to be a very large plastic hoop with teeth around its circumference, which were meshed into the teeth of 4 evenly spaced sprocket-like discs. "Fuck me, this is a strange place," he said, and then an idea came to him. "Oh, I get it. I fell, knocked myself out, and I've injured my back. That's why you won't let me move, isn't it?" The strange voice replied with just one word. "No." Terry tried to see where the voice was coming from, but beyond the discs there was only inky blackness. Suddenly, Terry saw a strange object appear from the darkness and headed slowly towards him. As far as he could make out, it was made up of 6 of the sprocket-shaped discs in a spherical shape. "What the fuck is that?" he wondered. The object moved closer to him, and when it was 2 feet away, it began to spin. Suddenly it rushed forward, hitting him in the stomach. Then its teeth began ripping into his flesh. Terry screamed at the sudden agony and carried on screaming as it burrowed its way inwards. Once inside him, it stopped spinning and started moving in what seemed to be random directions. The agony tore through Terry's body, and he was about to faint when the voice spoke again. "No," it said. "We won't allow that." And Terry felt something like, but not quite, an electric shock inside his head. "It hurts, it hurts! Fuck me, stop it, oh, fuck me!" he said in half yell, half scream. The thing inside him moved for another couple of seconds and then stopped. Then it shot out of his stomach through the hole it had created. Terry screamed again. Then, still screaming, he looked down at the thing which had caused him so much pain. It was moving toward the pillar, dragging something behind it. It was a long, pink tube-like thing that glistened wetly in the light. Terry couldn't think what it was for a second. But then the truth dawned on him. The horror of what was happening making him forget the pain. "It's pulling my guts out!" he shrieked. "Oh, fuck me, it's pulling out my guts!" Moving slowly, the spherical shape finally reached the pillar, and with infinite care began to circle it, wrapping Terry's intestines around it. The pain was so great that Terry's screams became even louder. Then the hoop he was standing on began to move, and Terry found himself slowly circling the pillar. More of his intestines were pulled slowly out and were wrapped around the pillar, its spikes digging into the gleaming tubes and causing large gashes to open in them. The smell of excrement filled Terry's nostrils, and the pillar was slowly covered with pieces of tattered flesh and sticky brown liquid. The agony Terry felt was indescribable, and his screams took on a rather strange, undulating quality as they echoed off into the darkness. More and more of Terry's intestines were slowly pulled out from his body and wrapped around the pillow until it looked as if it was covered by a big, glistening, rubbery-looking fleshy sheet. Suddenly, Terry felt a low pulling down in his body, followed by a terrible pressure on his rectum, and then something inside him seemed to burst. Terry felt a terrible pain in his chest as his heart first gave a stutter and then stopped. Terry gave a scream of torment, and then his mind span down into darkness. The police were the first to arrive at Denise's home, and finding that ringing the doorbell brought a weak call of "No!" from inside promptly broke the door down. They found Denise still lying on the floor, taking short gasps of breath, with blood running from her mouth. 30 seconds later, the ambulance arrived, and it wasn't long before Denise was on her way to the local hospital's casualty department, and from there quickly sent to the ICU ward. 3 of her ribs had been fractured, and one of the broken ends had pierced her lung, which had filled with blood. The police, of course, put out an arrest warrant for Terry, together with a "If you see this man, do not approach, he is considered dangerous" notice in the media. This would have pleased Terry if he'd seen it, but he never would, of course. Besides, he had other things to think about. No sign of him would ever be found. When Harry and his family returned home, Harry and Jenny were only half surprised to see both the police and the ambulance outside Denise's house. "I knew this would happen one day," said Terry sadly. "It was only a matter of time." The next morning, when Harry went to the back garden for his first smoke of the day, he noticed that the gate had been kicked in and the spirograph had gone. All that remained was a sheet of paper with a large hole burned into the middle of it. Typical, thought Harry. Some sod kicked the gate and had pinched the kid's toy. They even burned out the pattern they'd drawn. Bastards. Then he noticed a little trainer lying nearby in the grass. Someone's thrown an old shoe over the fence as well. He sighed. What a world we live in. Then he picked up the trainer, went out of the back gate and threw the trainer over the fence and into the park. Terry woke once again. He'd lost count of how many times his intestines had slowly been pulled out from him. But it seemed like hundreds. Seeing the spherical object approaching him once more, he groaned. "Not again, please, no, not again," he pleaded. "Oh, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me." Then the strange voice spoke again. "We don't do requests. Stop asking." It sounded irritated, but then its tone turned thoughtful. "It does sound interesting, though. Perhaps we could He stopped for a moment and then said loudly, "What?" Terry could just about make out a high-pitched whisper inside. Then the voice said, "Really? Is it? How strange. I could never have guessed that. Well, they are bizarre creatures, aren't they?" And then it spoke to Terry again. "I've just been informed that in this case, fuck me is an exclamation, not a request. Is this correct?" Terry, in his agony, was unsure of what was going on and merely nodded. "Good, then," the voice said. "You can learn something new every day, it seems. Well, now, that's sorted. Let us continue." Once more, the spherical object shot forward and gouged its way through Terry's flesh, and he started to scream once again. This time, though, his screams included a tone of utter despair as he finally realized that his torture would never end. Not ever. Epilogue. Denise made a full recovery from her physical injuries, but developed a phobia about men whose names started with the letter T. She sold the house and moved away from the area and its horrible memories. The police had questioned all of the neighbours, but they all claimed that they had neither seen nor heard anything out of the ordinary. They found out that it wasn't Harry who'd seen to Terry, but that didn't matter to them. As far as they were concerned, whoever had dealt with Terry was a hero in their eyes. And so, after a while, life in the street returned to normal. And normal without Terry, of course. 1 year later. Professor Warren Clark, lecturer in parapsychology and paranormal investigator, walked up the short garden path at the front of the 3-bedroomed house and rang the doorbell. The tall, well-built man opened the door and said yes. "Mr. Ellis?" Warren asked, getting the reply of, "Yes, that's me. What do you want?" He smiled. "Well, Mr. Ellis, I'd like to ask you some questions about the day Terry Crawford disappeared." And that's the end. Maybe we'll find out more stories from the Spyroverse as the ship team investigates deeper into the nether regions. But for now, that's your lot. Goodbye.
You know me. It's frightening how many Spyro books I've published. And here they are, all 2 of them. Get them now from all good Amazon stores. From WC and Z-Nazi, we introduce the Tales from the Spiroverse. If you only buy one Spyro book, buy these, which is all of them. To order, just click the links in the description.
Spirocations. Fly first class on our VIP airline, Crinkle Cut Airways. Enjoy a drink in the bar or go shopping in one of our many malls. You can meet the locals. And if you die on vacation, we'll bury you for free. Spirocations. You'll be dying to get here.
Spiroverse stuff that I do, because there's going to be a long Spiroverse themed live stream soon. So I thought I'd just let you know what's going to be happening with it.
Oh, the spirograph.
I've got one of those in my daughter's room. Let me go get that thing so I can make a video. It's gone. It was right on that shelf. It's gone. Well, I'll have to tell him I can't make the video because I can't find the spirograph. It's gone.
What this will be is going to be a premiere video, which is essentially a very long video with a live chat down the side. So it won't essentially be live, but it will be live, you know, be playing live, you know, and you can chat down the side of it with me. And when it finishes, we'll do a live stream and then a late night live stream.
It all started when I was a small boy and my father bought me a spirograph. First I thought it was fun, it was great. Then the more I used it, the more creepy things become. Very, very strange things started to happen, and it's hard to say because it generally is quite scary, okay? So I'm just hoping that people understand this, how serious this can be. On one particular occasion, I was alone in my room. I think I was about 8 or 9 years old. It was bedtime. I got the spirograph out and I just started going around and around and around, and the more intricate and the more I focused on the center of the spiral, all of a sudden I vanished inside. It was unbelievable. It was almost like a portal, if that makes sense. So as I feel myself getting pulled in, and it's given me nightmares from that day to this. And luckily for me, I was able to grab hold of the edge. And as I look down inside, there's things that I wouldn't want anyone to see in their life. Absolutely horrific. I managed to pull myself out, but I got a glimpse of what is inside the Spyroverse. And let me tell you, don't play games. Because of that, I live on my own, out in the wilderness, and it's the only way I can escape from what I saw. It still haunts me from time to time. But let me tell you this, do not muck around with it, it's deadly serious. The Spyroverse is real, and you really need to stay away from it.
Woe at the Wendy House by Tactical Pirate, read by WeaponCollector. What you are about to hear is based on a true story. As the moon crept higher in the night, casting an eerie glow over the abandoned Wendy House, a shiver ran down WeaponCollector's spine. His heart pounded, echoing in his ears, as he stepped in and cautiously made his way through the maze of empty cans towards the shimmering portal. Just as he began to wonder if he had been lured into some twisted nightmare, his eyes caught a flicker of movement. A Spyro demon emerged from the shadows, his gleaming body with an ethereal glow. "You've made it this far, WeaponCollector," he said, his voice resonating like a melody. "But the true test awaits." Suddenly, metallic reality appeared, her weapon ready, a mischievous glint in her eye. "You don't scare us. We're here to banish the horrors of the Spyroverse once and for all." She twirled her Witcher sword expertly, ready to do battle. The Spyro demon chuckled, a sound that sent chills down their spines. "Very well then. Let the battle commence, he declared. With a swift movement, he summoned a horde of horrifying creatures dressed in tree camo, their grotesque forms snarling with malice. WeaponCollector, Metallic Reality and the Spyro Demon fought fiercely, their weapons clashing with a symphony of steel. Blood pumped through their veins, their excitement and determination erasing any fear that lingered. The sister swords, however, were unmatched in speed and power, causing the Spyro Demon to falter. Suddenly, a piercing scream echoed through the Wendy house as a Spyro Demon was struck down, dissolving into shimmering particles. A fading, ethereal voice was heard. "You've changed, bro." Metallic Reality and WeaponCollector looked at each other, panting heavily, their triumph tinged with surprise. Surely it wasn't him. It couldn't be. "We did it," Metallic murmured, a smile spreading across her face. "We banished the bastard like we promised." WeaponCollector nodded, relief washing over him. "We make a great team, don't we?" Metallic Reality chuckled. "The best." As they walked out of the Wendy house, their friendship forged in battle, they felt an overwhelming sense of victory and belonging. The horrors of the Spyroverse were no more. Or are they?
Alright, hey, how's it going? They're my bird. I'm going to use my Ryan sword that I worked on last night.
Samurai Bartle, I'm going to go look for my kid's spy. You'll be on later. Yeah, I will be, definitely. I'll definitely be on later. He said, I think if I use the spy put Slayer on backwards, I might be an idea of what we're up against. Just be careful though. Samurai, definitely tie a chain around your waist or something, or at least stick a broom through your belt loop. And if they're trying to suck you down the hole, the broom will stop you going in. Samurai Bartle, thanks, Mark. I'll catch you later. That's if you can get back on. You know, I'm quite worried now. If you're going to do a spy, well, let's all wish Samurai Bird good luck. Good luck, mate. Please come back.
What the hell is that?
And it's gone.
Bertie the Bruiser. Bertrams, aka Bertie the Bruiser, stood back and snorted in annoyance. He'd waited until the old man's family had left the house to go home, and it should have all been too easy, but the old fool actually tried to put up a fight. Bertie had assumed He'd have been so terrified that if he'd just given in, mind you, Bertie admitted to himself, if he'd actually bought the stockings he meant to get instead of getting the pair of tights he'd actually picked up instead, things would most likely have been different. A stocking mask looked threatening. Tights, not so much. It was probably the extra leg hanging down over his shoulder that was responsible for that. It certainly hadn't frightened the old man anyway. He had just laughed and gone for him with one of those extended walking sticks, which had hurt him when he lashed out and caught Bertie a good one on the top of the head. Well, thought Bertie, he won't be doing anything like that for a while. Bertie looked down at the unconscious old man and gave him another kick for good measure. Then he quickly looked around the room, searching for anything that might be valuable. He knew he wouldn't have time for a decent search, as the neighbors would have called the police by now. It would have taken him a little time to arrive, though, as the nearest police station was 10 miles away, in a large town with lots of bars and clubs. The local one had been closed down in the late 80s. They'd been dealing with fights and young lads and their hot rods tearing around streets, so he had at least a good 15 minutes to have a look around. Bertie had already removed his victim's watch and wedding ring, but decided to deserve more because he had put up a bit more effort than he expected. As his eyes darted about the room, he spotted the child's toy on the dining table. It was one of those things that used plastic cogs to create patterns. Bertie couldn't remember what they were called. The old man must have been playing with it with his grandkids. He ignored it as being worthless. Then his eyes lighted on the object beside it. It was the old man's wallet. Walking over to the table, Bertie picked up the wallet and opened it. It contained $50 and a debit card. Bertie put it in his pocket, and he turned around. There was a dresser in the corner, and he quickly crossed over it to begin opening the drawers. So engrossed was he in this activity, he didn't hear the faint clicking sounds coming from the table. Bertie had just started on the bottom drawer when he felt something tug at him. Surprised, he quickly looked over his shoulder, but there was no one there. Putting it down to his imagination, he returned to searching the drawer. A few seconds later, he felt another tug, then a strong pull. Standing up, he turned around angrily. What the fuck's going on here, he thought. The pull quickly grew stronger, and Bertie found himself being drawn towards the table. Bertie didn't like this one bit and started struggling to break free, but he couldn't. As he was pulled closer and closer to the table, Bertie could see a large and quickly growing larger hole in the middle of the pattern maker. Now half frightened out of his wits, Bertie began to scream for help, but no one came to help him. His fate was now sealed. Screaming, crying, and urinating copiously in terror, Bertie was dragged closer and closer to this now gaping hole in the table. The next day, D.S. Hadafew walked into the front room and gazed at the upturned chairs and broken ornaments. Mr. Arbuthnot certainly put up a struggle, she thought. All the same, he should have just locked himself in his bedroom and called us, and he wouldn't be in the hospital now. Then she noticed a sheet of paper lying on the table. It had a large circular hole with a burnt inside edges. Suddenly an unpleasant memory came to her, and she muttered, "Oh shit." Hadafew had been in a good mood. She'd recently been promoted, and her work on a recent case had helped her enormously. The annual meet-up of the not-quite-ready-yet society had descended into violence after one of its members, a tall, bald fellow with a goatee, had gone mad. Apparently someone snagged the last cheeseburger that he'd just finished cooking, which made him somewhat angry, and then, to enrage him even more, he discovered that someone had stolen his last Rolo. He had gone for other members, wielding a vicious-looking tactical spatula, and created mayhem before running off. Through sheer hard work, and not a little luck, Hadafew had located him in a cave in Wisconsin. When arrested, he'd been eating a rat and raving about how the sheep people had it in for him. This was now her chance to show what she could really do, and she was on her own without DCI Glitzliver being present. DCI Glitzliver was at the moment in the local hospital having his trousers surgically removed. He zipped up far too quickly after relieving himself and had got himself horribly caught in a zipper. He'd been carried out of the station sobbing piteously, moaning that he was ruined for life and that it was going to be crinkle-cut forever. Cautiously, Hadafew approached the table and looked under it. Seeing nothing, she breathed a sigh of relief. Thank fuck for that, she thought. There's no cock there, crinkle-cut or otherwise. One thing was strange, though. The old man's wallet and wedding ring were still placed next to the sheet of paper. She wondered why the burglar hadn't taken them. Maybe he just ran off in a panic after he assaulted the old man, she thought. But then she looked again at the piece of paper, remembering the Arnold Finch case. No sign had ever been found of Mr. Finch. Not even a single body part had ever turned up. Or maybe he didn't run anywhere, she muttered to herself. Straightening up, she continued searching the room for clues, but with growing certainty that whoever the burglar was, he had disappeared for good. Bertie suddenly woke up, suspended in a bright circle of light. The first thing he did was try and move. He couldn't. Not even his head. Shit, my fucking neck's broke, he yelled in fear. No, it isn't, a strange voice said, surrounding the darkness. Bertie didn't like the sound of that voice in the slightest. It didn't sound human at all. Then why can't I fucking move then, Bertie said angrily. Because we won't allow you to, the voice told him. You won't allow me to? Bertie shouted in rage. Let me go, you bastards. Let me go. I want to see whoever's in charge now. For a few seconds there was silence. Then the voice spoke again. It sounded amused. I see. You think we are your police force. We are not. Who are you then? Bertie asked, surprised. We are vengeance, the voice replied. You have been judged and found guilty. Your punishment will now begin. Oh, and don't think you will die from it. We won't allow that either. Bertie heard a sort of whizzing and buzzing sound start up beneath him, and he felt his legs being pulled slightly apart. The sound grew louder, and he was just wondering what it was when the two spiked discs bit into his flesh. He screamed in agony as they cut slowly into his scrotum, slicing both his testicles in half, before moving up and cutting his penis lengthways into 4 pieces from base to tip. Continuing upwards, they chewed their way through his pelvis up into his intestines. Once there, they began to move around, turning everything to a kind of meaty porridge. Bertie screamed even more loudly and voided his bowels with gusto. A sticky flow of vile-smelling excrement joined the tiny flakes of blood, flesh, and bone floating off into the surrounding darkness. Satisfied with their work so far, the discs moved upwards, cutting into Bertie's heart before quickly moving up to his throat and into his mouth. Bertie felt the spikes biting his palate, and his screams grew even louder. Then just before the disc bit into his brain, he heard the voice speak once more. Do not think this is the end of your punishment. This is just your first time. You will be punished like this again, forever in fact. There will be no release from it, not ever. And Bertie screamed again, this time, though, it was in despair. Mr. Arbuthnot made a full recovery and went home. He often wondered what had happened to the spirograph he left on the table. Why would anyone bother to steal that, he wondered. Several days had passed, and Mr. Arbuthnot stepped out of his front door and nearly tripped on the package in his garden path. Seeing his name and address written on it in a strangely flowing script, he opened it. Inside was a brand new Spirograph deluxe playset. The end. And now, to the insane asylum. Hey guys, Samurai Bird here.
And Miss Bird.
I just wanted everyone to know that I'm going to be okay. The Spyro Demons and Spyroverse itself was warning me not to mess around with things that I don't fully understand. I do have a scar to remind me of my encounter with the Spyroverse.
Don't let him fool you. This fucking Spyroverse shit is bullshit. He fell down a fucking hole at work.
Okay, well, I'm Samurai Bird saying it's all noodles, no spaghetti.
Revenge is like a medium hot curry. Bubble tea.
You can't make me. You're not my dad. Ah, fucking hell, fucking hell. Ah, get off, ah!
Medication time.
Oh.
Oh, Dr. Russell? Can I have a word with you in a few minutes?
Not you again.
Of course it's me again.
Where's my phone?
Oh, you don't need that. Don't worry about those sorts of things. Now, it's time for your
Why are you
medication.
drugging me?
It's medication. It's medication, sir. It's only a little prick.
Don't.
It's okay, you'll just feel a little prick.
Nothing unusual there then.
Well, don't be silly, sir. It's fine. Fine. Now, this is for your own good. May feel a little tight, but, you know, it's best to be sure.
Get off. Don't. Don't.
There you go. Isn't that better? Isn't
No, it's
that
not.
better?
No.
Come. Don't make such a fuss.
Get off me.
No, that's okay. Just tell you what, should we just make you feel a little bit more happy before we do that? Shall
Don't
we?
touch me again.
It's okay. It's not a drug. It's medication,
Leave me alone.
sir. It's medication. No, it'll all feel a lot better very soon. Let's sort you out, shall we? Nice and slow. That's what we like. Only a few days left. Just a few days. We won't have to worry about you anymore, will we, sir? Little bit left in there. Blood pressure dropping all the time. Good. We'll soon be rid of you and your kind. Oh, Dr. Russell! Dr. Russell! Oh, get out of it! Your lap is mine! Time for more crinkle cuts. Now, what do we have here? Let us see what we have in here. Oh my, no. Oh, not quite. Yeah. Jumbo. Plot, plot, plotty. Perfect. Ha ha. Sneak, sneak, sneaky, sneak. Sneak, sneak, sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Plot, plot, plotty, plot. Plot, plot, plotty, plot. Sneaky, sneaky, sneak.
Oh, hello. Can I help you?
Oh, John Doe. Like to see him. I'm not sure we have any of that. Mr. John Doe. He's definitely here. He's been in here for quite some time now. Well, he's resting at the moment, and I need to
Alice.
see him now.
Alice Alias.
I'm sorry. I can't let you in at the moment.
Alice Alias. Alice. Alice Alias. Alice. Alice Alias. Alice. Alice! Oh, what the fuck has happened to my cock? What? Oh, God.
Sneak, sneak, sneak.
Sneak, sneak.
Sneak, 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 sneak,
Please come back later. No, I'm gonna go in and see him. I haven't seen him for ages and I'm really concerned about
You
him.
shall not pass.
You can't stop me.
I'll have to get Dr. Russell.
Yeah? Go and get the doctor. I want to speak to this doctor of yours. What is he, Dr. Russell?
Yes.
Yep. Bring him to me. Mike? John? Is that you?
Alice. Alice
No,
Alias.
not Alice, not Alice.
Alice Alias. Alice.
Not Alice.
I did.
Sadie. Is that really you? Is that really you? Oh my God. You look so different. What's happened?
I think they've been starving me.
Been starving you?
All they've been feeding me is these weird, chewy, cheesy onion ring type things.
Oh, Christ.
Forcing them into me.
Oh, God.
Disgusting things.
Sounds terrible.
They stink.
Well, you got your vodka drip.
Oh, there's never enough vodka in that thing.
Oh,
Never.
fuck's sake. Other than, I mean, you look so different. Saying here early stages of gangrene.
I hope not.
Paranoid delusions.
Gangrene?
Or from your leg wound.
What room? What, John
Oh,
Doe?
the doctor's here. The doctor's here.
Hold
I've got to go talk to the doctor. Are you Dr. Russell? I need to have a word with you. What has been going on here?
It wasn't a dream. I fucking knew that was real and that was really happening. That must have been a Spyro in here. So I opened a gory hole. He's been disturbed. God, I hope it's... Oh God, thank God for that. Are you Sadie Baines?
I am.
You Mr. Doe's partner?
No, I'm not his partner. I'm his friend.
Matron was quite upset by her encounter with you.
And I was quite upset with my encounter with her. She told me I couldn't go and see my friend. And then when I did see him, I was shocked at his condition. What have you been doing to him? The state of him. He's lost so much weight, he is out of it. What's going on?
He's been a very difficult patient. We've had to sedate him.
But that doesn't account for the weight loss. He says you haven't been feeding him.
He's refusing to eat.
Well, that doesn't sound like him to me.
Well, he's been a very difficult patient.
Oh, well, you say that, but he's not even conscious.
But he's delirious.
He's not even conscious.
And what are Alice Alias?
Pardon?
Alice Alias. He keeps going about Alice Alias.
He's a gardener. He's a gardener. Allisalias are a flower. Perhaps he's worried about planting season. Now then, about this sedation.
Dr. Russell! Dr. Russell! There's an emergency. You must come now.
Of course, matron. I'll be there. I'll be there right away. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to attend to my patient.
I understand, Doctor.
To the emergency room. DC.
Just calm down, you're hysterical. No, I have managed to convince him that Alisalia is a flower and that you are a gardener. You need to get your shit together or you're going to blow our cover.
Sadie, there's a
The fuck's that?
fucking gory hole that's starting.
What?
Looks like they've been disturbed though.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell, Mike. We need to get you out of here. Sorry I said your name. Oh my god. We need to get you out of here. I think they're gone. Hold on. Let me just check. Right, let's get you out of here. Let's get you out of here. Come on, let's get you out of here.
Oh, that's better. Although I was enjoying the vodka when they had enough in it.
Ah, this is the problem. Right, let's get you out. Right, you ready to get out? What the hell are they? What? What's this about?
Don't know. I didn't even know it was there.
Right, let's get you out of here before they come back. Oh, got you. All sitting on my hair. Right, come on then, Mike, let's get you off the bed. Come on. Come on.
Damn, they got away.
I know.
I think there was lots of them in the woods.
Yeah, I saw quite a few of them.
You hide over there.
What, over here? Okay.
I'll hide over here.
Alright then, I'll wait here.
I'll show them Retribution if we catch one.
Damn right. We'll teach them. Maybe we can get some information out of it.
Got you bastard. Let's see what we've got here, shall we? Crinkle cut cuisine? What the hell is this shit? Eternal torture, brain scrapings, sweet sour bellend, battered foreskin rings. Oh, God! Ah, foreskins. Oh, God's sake.
Well done on capturing one of those bastards. To the shipmobile!
Got you now, you Spyro bastard. So you're the Spyro Desmond that shot me?
I'm not Desmond. I'm a Spyro bitch.
I never knew they made female Desmonds.
I'm not a Desmond. I'm a Spyro bitch.
Spyro bitch. CCC collector.
Yeah, I'll fucking take your foreskin and I'll eat it.
Oh, you dirty bastard.
My favourite snack. You're on the menu.
You're a bit cocky for someone who's tied up, aren't you?
Cocky. Mr. Twirly Twirly told me about you. I can't wait to get my teeth around that foreskin.
Do you think this is funny? You've seen the tool down there.
I have. Heard about the tool down there too. Yum yum. Think you can break me, fucker? I won't speak to you. You can't fucking stop me. We're everywhere.
You're going to be in bits in a minute.
Talk, 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 talk. That's all you fucking humans can do, and it's talk, 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 talk. We take action.
Why have you got these? What is all this about?
To deliver them.
Is this the fucking shit you was trying to feed me?
You
This what was
fucking
in your
loved
pockets?
it. You fucking loved it.
Dirty bastard. You've been trying to feed me. Well, you know, you have been feeding me foreskins.
Yep.
Dirty, disgusting fuckers.
You ate them. You fucking loved them.
What is it with the foreskins? Why do you want foreskins?
No comment.
And why spirographs?
No comment.
You'll give me a comment in a minute.
I don't take orders from you.
I'm going to ask you some questions in a minute.
Fuck you, you don't scare me.
And the less you answer, the more pain you're going to get.
You don't know the meaning of pain.
Was it you who set up the gory hole, took my finger, tried to take my cock?
No comment.
And was it you who set up the factory and kidnapped all those people? The one I burnt down? What do you want?
Your foreskin.
Where'd you come from?
No comment.
Who's your leader?
No comment.
So you're not going to tell me anything then?
Fuck you.
Well, that's torturing time then.
Do your worst.
See these clients? You're going to be ripping your teeth out, aren't you? See that? I've got to take one of your eyes out. And you've seen the other things down there. They'll be doing lots and lots and lots of damage to you.
Fuck you.
Thank God Hadafy was there to pull me out of that hellhole. Her training really paid off. Hopefully she'll get to use her spanners soon. They look like awesome weapons. Wonder why those Desmonds want to crinkle cut my cock so badly. Can't believe they were feeding me bad foreskins. The dirty bastards. And I was crawling with Spyro Desmonds. Never considered there being female Desmonds. Shame I couldn't get her to talk. Wonder how they all got there. Maybe our discoveries will give shit the grounds to investigate the place. I hope I get put on the case so I can crump the place.
That's the funnest place to be.